Hey guys, thought I'd pull out another one of the more interesting guns in my collection to talk about today. I pulled out my Compact Off-Duty Police, or COP, COP, I'm not really sure what the best name for it is, but it's another one of those guns that's kind of hard to find information about online. Not a lot of videos on YouTube, that sort of stuff, so hoping you guys appreciate having a video about it. The COP was produced by COP Incorporated in Torrance, California, I believe in the 70s, maybe the 80s. Like I said, information is pretty scarce on these, so if you have some better facts, let me know. But I believe they were made in the 70s, marketed towards police. They were supposed to be a backup weapon, and they just didn't sell very well. The company went under. Nowadays, the guns are pretty rare, kind of hard to find. Sort of a collector's item, really. I got this one like new in box on Gunbroker several months ago. Thought I'd pull out the whole kit because a lot of guys are kind of interested in that sort of stuff. So it came with this manual here. Pretty nicely produced, I'd say. It's short, but it has, I guess, the information you need to know in there. It's got their address, 3040 West Lomita, Torrance, California. So, and it matches the stainless steel of the gun, so that's kind of cool too. The box itself, it's actually a pretty nice box, really. It's sort of like a jewel case. It has a blue velvet sort of lining there. It's a pretty nice presentation when you open it. There's some sort of cigarette burn in this one, which is kind of annoying to me, but whatever. Anyway, on to the gun itself. It's kind of a unique style gun, and a lot of people know it from a few different movies it's been in. It was in at the end of Bad Boys. The bad guy pulls one out. It was in one of the Matrix sequels. Monica Bellucci had one, and then it was also, I think, one of the first appearances in the early 80s. It was in Blade Runner. One of the replicants had one when he was being interrogated or something. He pulls it out and he blasts some guy with it. But the reason it's in so many movies is because it's pretty cool looking. Look at that. It's got 4 barrels. Each one shoots 357 Magnum or 38 Special. Speaking of Blade Runner, one of the #1 questions I get asked about this when people see it is, does it shoot all 4 at once? No, the ATF would not be very happy about that. It shoots one at a time. It goes counterclockwise, this direction. In Blade Runner, I think it does shoot all 4. I've read that they modified that one so that it could shoot all of them at once, and it would have a cool special effect. But in real life, just one at a time in order for it to comply with ATF regulations. But yeah, and what's kind of an interesting feature about it, because these pepper box, derringer, revolver types of things, it's not a new idea. They've been around since the early to mid 1800s. But typically, in those cases, in the older guns, the barrel assembly is actually the part that rotated. Whereas with this gun, what's rotating is the firing pin assembly in here. So you're going boom, 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 instead of having just the barrels rotate and have it coming out of one one position. So you're actually shooting out of this one, and this one, then that one, then that one. So it's kind of a unique take on the old pepper box revolver design. Like I said, this gun was designed as a police backup gun. They're supposed to carry it, I guess, in some sort of ankle holster or something like that. But size-wise, it is pretty wide. Not exactly huge, but it is wide. It's definitely heavy. It's solid stainless steel, pretty much all the way through. I mean, it does feel well built, but it's pretty heavy. Pop it open there so you can see that it's empty. But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be a concealable backup gun, but really it's pretty large, so I don't really know. That's probably one of the reasons why it didn't do so great. But I'll just show you sort of how. Let's see, I showed you how it loads. You pull this back, and that's the sight picture right there. That's what you're using to pull back to open up the loading breech, or I don't even know what that would be called in this sort of gun, but you pull that back, and then try to do this one hand isn't the easiest, but that pops open. You load in your 4 cartridges. You can do 357 Magnum or 38 Special. Close it, and then, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoots all 4 of them. Trigger pull on these things is god awful. It's really long, really heavy. I mean, you can't really tell how heavy it is, but it is quite heavy. You have no idea when it's going to break, really. It's not crisp at all. It's just sort of like long mush, like just running your finger through a big bowl of oatmeal or something. Thick oatmeal because it's heavy, and then it goes. So the trigger is not great, and that's another one of the things I think sort of doomed this thing from the beginning. Is it's heavy, trigger's terrible. Shooting it actually is kind of painful. I mean, it feels decent enough when you're holding it. It feels a little awkward, but when you actually shoot it, because of it, I guess just because of its small size, this little thing jutting out here, especially in the 357 Magnum loads, it's just not fun to shoot at all. 38 specials are okay, but it's not something I really enjoy shooting. It's decently accurate, I mean, in short ranges, but again, because of the ridiculous trigger pull, I mean, anything past like 5-7 yards, maybe 10 at the most, it's just don't count on it for anything. Plus, with the barrels being like they are, and that this doesn't move, you're always, I mean, the one at the top right is always going to impact a different place than the one at the bottom left. So it's kind of unpredictable in that way too. I mean, overall, this gun it's not a great gun. In my opinion, it's pretty cool for reasons of like novelty and just sort of for being different and that sort of thing. But the gun itself is really not that great at anything. It's heavy for its size. It only holds 4 rounds, and yes, they are 357 Magnum, so I mean that's pretty decent. But the trigger is awful. Accuracy is mediocre. So I mean, I can understand why they didn't do well, but you have to admit it's pretty cool looking anyway. I do actually have carried this on occasion. I'll load it up with 4 rounds and just kind of slip it in my back pocket or something, and I know it's there, it's heavy and all that, but it fills its role as being a gun that you can carry. So but it's not all that great. I mean, it feels well built and everything, so I can't really knock it for that, but it's just, you know, I can definitely understand why they didn't do very well. So in conclusion, I would say that it's an interesting novelty. Pick one up if you have the money and you're into that sort of thing. If you're into weird guns like I am, that's kind of the main reason I got it, is because I like weird stuff. But for any other purpose, for any kind of carry purpose or target shooting or anything like that, skip it. The pricing is pretty all over the place. I mean, typically I think I've been seeing them go for $700, $800, $900 with a box, maybe high 500s without a box. But some people say they see them at gun shows for $300 and $400 just because people don't know what they are and nobody wants it. They pick it up probably and realize that it's just not that great. It's heavy, trigger's awful, that sort of thing. So really the only thing that sells it is the novelty of it. You get the 4-barrel pepper box derringer shooting 357, so it's pretty cool for that reason. But yeah, so not a lot of information about these. Hope this video maybe kind of shed some light on it. Yeah, I mean, I like it for its novelty purposes, but anything else, probably there are better guns out there. So hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.